David?
Yep. How you doing?
Doing well. How are you this morning, sir?
I'm doing good.
It's pretty obvious that it was a David picking me up from the car. How about that?
People can't miss that, huh?
You a realtor, sir?
Yes, sir.
How you enjoying that, sir?
It's kind of slow right now.
Yeah, I'm in the drywall supply business, and our residential is just falling off a cliff, sir.
Yeah, I bet it is.
It's kind of strange. I don't really know what it's related to, but this year has been... The commercial side still seems to be fine, but on the residential, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just people are scared. The economy and stuff right now. Hopefully it starts picking up.
Yeah. Oh, haven't we had the same interest rate for a really long time? And doesn't that affect home stuff too, or no?
It's been kind of high. I think that. So there's a lot of houses for sale.
Yeah.
People are dropping their prices because they're not selling. But there's just not a lot of people are buying right now. They're just a little nervous, and part of it's the economy, and then interest rates are kind of higher than compared to last year. But they're starting to come. They're about 6% right now, and they're starting to come down. It's slow. It was like this time at the beginning of the year it was like a 7. Right now it's down to about 6. So they're slowly coming down. So,
but like, what would juice the industry? What would really get it going? Like,
if it was under 6, closer to 5, I think people would start buying. So hopefully that'll start happening here soon.
So okay, so you ever hear this thing where, like, because I've heard about it on the news before, I don't really know how it works, but you hear like China, the country of China owns X number of properties in Alabama or something, right? Like, I've never, like, you hear about them, like, basically building developments and, like, these countries coming and buying, like, I guess, investing in real estate in our country.
Yes.
So would you, like, ever sell, like, I don't know, again, I don't know what kind of real estate you do, but, like, is there such a thing where some realtor somewhere inks a deal and literally on the deed it's like country of China, or how does that work?
I've never seen that. I know there's a lot of big commercial companies. Don't know who they're owned by. I've never had one. Big commercial companies that buy up a lot of houses.
Yeah.
For property management and rent them out, because right now rents are skyrocketing because people aren't buying houses.
Well, they also say, like, kind of, I guess you're right about one thing. What I kind of heard, and maybe this is not correct or not, is that more or less it's headed towards going to be, quote unquote, a nation of renters, with these corporations just purchasing these vast swaths of properties, and then just everybody just having to rent houses. And plus also, like, at the end of the day, like, if you strap paycheck to paycheck, you're way more likely to rent than to buy a place.
Right. So the only thing that's going to save that is if interest rates come down and people start buying more, then the rents come down, and then those commercial companies will sell the houses because it's not profitable to rent them out anymore because people are buying houses.
Yeah.
So it's a wave.
So that's what I was wondering. So, like, I guess you're saying, like, is it cyclical, or is there such a thing as, like, the idea, like, the death of the AMERikAn homeowner? Is that, like, a thing that, like, you think could happen?
No, because there's so many people out there that still own homes with low interest rates and stuff.
Yeah.
That, no, I don't think it'll be a death. I think it's a wave. We're just in a wave.
I got you.
If you look historically, it's
what?
Homeowners. It goes in waves. Interest rates and real estate buying are waves, and right now we're at a high wave.
Well, my understanding is, particularly in the early industrial revolutionary, like the second industrial revolutionary time periods, the 1800s-ish, that the majority of this idea of homeownership was really kind of not a common then. Right. And that, like, it used to be, even, take not the grand view of a century, but do 2 centuries. And if you go 2 centuries back, really there's not everybody being a renter kind of was the norm at that point in time. So this idea of homeownership is really kind of a post-World War II thing that we kind of had.
It was more common after World War II because there's big incentives for soldiers coming home the government made a lot of incentives to buy homes to get them acclimated.
That seems like something that they don't do as much. Like that they did a lot right after like the 50s, 60s, 70s. These time periods are kind of like have canonized in American history as like these cultural golden periods. And it seems like there were a lot more incentive-based type programs in that time period to kind of encourage.
Right.
We want to encourage more home ownership, so let's do that. We want to encourage more. Doesn't seem like we do a lot of that anymore.
No, not as much. You're right.
Like I even think about like the way they settled Oklahoma. Like they just gave you a flag, you stick it in the ground, you call it your place. So, you know, there are all these interesting ways to kind of encourage either population disbursement or, you know, I know one thing they're talking about right now is kind of encouraging childbirth somehow or something. But
yeah. Hopefully just something.
How long you been a realtor?
About 5 years.
5 years. And we got I've never been in. This is a TeslA. I just realized we're in a TeslA.
Yeah.
You nervous about, because there's a lot of crazy people out there right now. You nervous about anybody throwing do you ever get honked out or get the finger or get a can thrown at you? Yeah.
Not here.
I don't even know how much of that is just a news thing. Sometimes you just see things on the news and it's not really a thing, but
I think it's just depending where you're at.
Now, do you pay? I think I heard you pay a subscription service, like a monthly subscription too, for a TeslA, or no? No. How often do you have to charge it?
I charge it at night in my garage. I plug it in. I have it programmed to charge, you know, starting at midnight, and it's charged by like 3 or 4 in the morning.
Oh, okay. And then if you're good all day?
Depends how busy I get. Usually I Uber in the mornings, then I go to my office in the afternoons. So.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Right, with the real estate the way it is, I got a daughter in college, so I still have to pay tuition. So.
Oh yeah, no, I understand.
When real estate gets better, I lay off the Uber in a little bit. So.
Yeah. No, I was in sales game for multiple decades. I did first sales gig I ever did was radio advertising, so that was an interesting gig because
I bet
you're just selling air, you're selling nothing, so that's an interesting first product to sell. And then I went from that and I went into insurance sales for a while. Just had my own agency, and that was kind of still like selling nothing. I just still didn't have a physical proper product.
Right.
And then from there I went into franchise sales, and I was selling for Neighborly for a few years. It was very feast or famine, sir. That's how I remember my sales career being.
I bet.
I had all the money in the world for 6 months, and then living on a shoestring budget for 3, and then get a couple more sales in.
That's like real estate.
The only one that wasn't like that was insurance, and what they told me was true about the power of residual income. It was almost like, truthfully, sir, insurance is what they tell you a pyramid scheme is. It's the same deal as a pyramid scheme. You get enough people under your pyramid, and then you can just sit back.
Yeah.
But you are every 6 months having to sit down with the same people and try to explain to them, you know, how the rate increase is not really a bad thing.
Oh yeah, I bet.
And what do we got on the radio? We got everybody does different there. You got Spotify, YouTube Music, just the radio, Sirius XM. What are we listening?
This is a TeslA kind of radio thing that comes with the car.
Oh, they have their own radio thing, kind of like a Spotify type deal.
Yeah, exactly. It's called Livewire.
Livewire, okay.
And this is like a 90s country station.
Yeah. Tesla's got its own radio company. How about that?
Building material store here?
Yes, sir.
go.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it, sir.
You have a good day. Push that top button there twice. There you go.
How about that?
You have a good day.
You too, sir.